WHOW programming is there when you want it. Just another service from the big 1520 AM and 92.3 FM WHOW.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning is Heather Purdeu, Executive Director of the Scovill Zoo in Decatur. Good morning, Heather. Hold on, I have the wrong microphone on. How are you this morning?
Good morning. I am doing well.
You've got a snuggle friend there with you. who do we have here today?
Yeah, I brought Loki, one of our rabbits that we have there at the zoo. He is a Dutch rabbit, which is just the breed of rabbit, and they're very distinctive. They have a very distinctive color pattern. If you look at them, he has the black and white coloration.
Mm-hmm.
They always have kind of this white color pattern that goes, we kind of call it a saddle that goes across his shoulder blades, and then he has white kind of blaze there on his face, and then a lot of times they have white feet. He is his alternating color is black, but we have his brother Thor is at the zoo, and he's kind of more of a gray, like a dark gray color. They could be brown. So this color can change, but it's always that white on like another color.
Oh,
so
interesting.
It's a medium-sized breed. They're a good breed for us to be able to use for programs because we're able to, take them out to schools and retirement homes. Some rabbit breeds can get very large, so those would be a lot harder for us to be able to take out to programs. So
Sure.
they're a good size. These Dutch rabbits are a good size for us to use.
Yeah, well, because of the timing of the interview, we'll circle back to Loki and the like you said, the school bus season and the mobile zoo program, because tomorrow is opening day for the zoo.
It is opening day. The winter always seems so long for us. When we first closed there after a boo at the zoo, we kind of are able to kind of breathe a little bit. We work on a lot of paperwork and, maybe catch up on some stuff that it's harder to catch up, during the busy open season, but we're always ready to open when it comes to April. So we're excited. It's Good Friday. I know a lot of kids are out of school, so we're hoping people will come out to the zoo. I think looking at the weather should be okay for tomorrow for us to open, but I know there's that threat of rain kind of at least through Saturday.
Yeah, sure. And then we were talking before we came on, it's going to cool down a little bit over the weekend, and you've really, particularly early in the year and late in the year, you've got to watch those overnight temps for some of your collection.
We do. A lot of the animals, they have to get acclimated to those temperatures. Right now they're in heated buildings, so we can't just move them out to where, it's dropping. Like I think this weekend is supposed to drop down to the low 30s. And so that's a little too cool for us to maybe move some animals. Even though the weather may be up into the 70s tomorrow, we know that cold front's coming through and it's going to drop the temperature. So looking at the extended weather, we're hopeful that we'll be able to move maybe more things out next week as long as the weather stays warm. In the fall, if the animals are already acclimated, to being outside, they're usually able to withstand. We do supplemental heat for some of our animals, like our tamarins and our sloth. They have heat lamps inside shelters that they can go in and warm up. But right now, we just wouldn't want to, move them straight from a heated building. And right now we do start turning down the heat just so it's not such a extreme temperature difference once they get moved out.
Yeah. Are those the animals you're talking about when you say you've got to get them acclimated to those?
Yeah, we do. Even like our tortoises, we can move Sam, our big Galapagos tortoise, everybody knows Sam, out tomorrow, but then it looks like for the next few days it's supposed to be only up in the 50s, and that's kind of too cool for him, so we basically just be moving him out into his shelter. So we may wait to move him until next week. He's a big tortoise. It takes, a few people to move him. Usually he's pretty good. They actually walk up onto a trailer. Our Galapagos tortoises and our alligators, they walk onto a trailer, and then we're able to move them out that way.
Oh, really?
So,
wow.
Again, we're going to open tomorrow. We may have a lot of our animals, like our monkeys, our goats, all of those animals will probably be out in the nice weather, but not all of our animals will be out yet, just because we're waiting.
Do you have animals that hibernate in the winter?
We don't. We have our little tenrecs that look like hedgehogs. They go through something that's called torpor, which they slow down their metabolism, but they don't actually go into a full-fledged like hibernation.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So it gives folks a reason to come out, maybe at some point this weekend and just see the zoo, be a part of it, and then maybe visit again when school lets out, June or July, and see the whole collection.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're hopeful. We are always watching the weather. We kind of joke, I know how much farmers watch the weather. Zookeepers do as well. I mean, we have to prepare for severe weather, which it looks like there's maybe a chance tonight. And so our keepers will lock animals into buildings and stuff just to make sure they're more secure in case we do get damaging winds or tornadoes or anything like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, sure. Got to always be mindful of those things as well. Absolutely. So if folks are coming out to the zoo for the year, Heather, or for the first time this year, what are they going to notice? Anything new at the zoo?
We have a new cheetah display, which is we have a couple of mounted cheetahs. And they're inside a temperature controlled building. It's kind of more like a museum piece is what you would be looking at. And it's just kind of a nice additional, focus for us to, we have a nice cheetah informational sign, and then we have one about cheetah conservation. And again, it's just, we still have our cheetahs on exhibit, so you will see them out there, but it's just kind of nice having something a little different for us. And then we are also preparing our current alligator exhibit for construction that should hopefully start this season. So we will have a temporary exhibit, which we're just finishing up on for our American alligators. So if anyone's familiar with the zoo, they'll be moved over near our guinea pigs and our sloth exhibit. And then we had a bird exhibit that was also next to it. And so people, when they come, they're going to see some where we're kind of demoing kind of those current exhibits now, just to get that area prepared for construction.
Yeah, so may have to work around that a little bit this summer.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the animals in your collection that don't mind the temperature swing? And it can go from 75 down to 30 in a day,
Some of our animals, like our North American species, are pretty adapted to it. I always say our wolves, however, they do still have their winter fur. So when it got up to, what was it, upper 80s, a week or so ago, they looked a little miserable because they still have their winter coats on. But again, they're North American species. That would be even native to this area. So they are pretty adapted for the change in temperatures. The mountain lions, the cheetahs, they don't seem to mind it. Obviously with a lot of rain, they will probably choose to go into their building just so they don't want to sit out on the rain.
Yeah, sure. Gotcha. So good collection again this year. And again, Heather, the zoo opens tomorrow.
Yes.
What are the hours for the weekend at the zoo?
For tomorrow, and during the week right now, we're still in our spring hours. So Monday through Friday, we open every day at 9:30, and then the last admission into the zoo is at 4:00, with the zoo grounds closing at 5. And then on weekends, we also open at 9:30, but you can get into the zoo until 5:00, and then the zoo grounds will close at 6.
Sure. Now, do you have people that are like waiting in line, ready for the zoo to open on opening day, like the baseball park?
Yeah, we usually do have some people. We have, especially some of our members that we see, sometimes every week, and they're just so ready. And I know kids are getting a little stir crazy. I mean, adults are getting stir crazy, and it's nice just to get outside and walk around and enjoy. We have flowers starting to grow and bloom a little bit, and the trees are starting to leaf out. The goats will be super excited to see Gus come back, because then they'll have the feed machines.
Sure.
They've really missed the Gus because of that reason, I think.
Very good. Very good. Heather Purdeu, again, Executive Director of the Scovill Zoo Indicator, our guest here in studio for today, talking about opening weekend at the zoo. It's this weekend, Easter weekend, for the Scovill Zoo Indicator. Let's talk a little bit, Heather, about with the opening of the zoo comes yellow school bus season. How about this? And what educators, and I'm sure many are veteran to scheduling with the zoo, but maybe those that are new, talk a little bit about what the school bus season offers, how they get coordinate some dates to come out, those sorts of things.
Yeah, we asked them to give us a call. We do try to limit how many guests we're expecting, and that includes adults and children.
Mhm.
As far as the zoo goes, we can accommodate quite a few people out in the zoo,
Mhm.
where our limitations are parking and the train. So just because, if people have came during that time, they know if a lot of, people are riding the train, we can only fit so many on the train at a
Mhm.
time. And
Mhm.
so they may have to wait in line a little bit. But so if we ask them to give us a call, we are already, I think we've already are up to a little over 9,000 so far, that adults and children that are booked for the season. And
cow.
that's in April and May. And even if you're bringing a group, we get a lot of summer
Mhm.
camps
Mhm.
that want to come to the zoo, and they can choose to come on our free admission day, which is fine. But they're also welcome to, some people that, they don't want to come on the free admission because they know it's a busier day.
Mhm.
But we have tour rates that we can offer groups of 10 or more.
Gotcha.
And so, I know, for example, to get into the zoo, if you have a group of at least 10, it's $5.75. So
Mhm.
that's, quite a bit cheaper than a regular admission for an adult is $10.
Mhm.
And for a child 2 to 12 is $8.
Mhm.
So if you have that group, again, we just ask for you to book that with us in advance,
Mhm.
and then you can get the tour rate. We have deals where you can include training carousel,
Mhm.
and we even have another deal where it includes all of those plus snow cone and goat food
All right.
so
So they need to call about those.
yeah, we
things?
call it, and we'll check our schedule, and the teachers seem to like it too, because we can tell them, we already have, a little over 500 coming between 9:30 and noon, and they're like, okay, so what are some other dates?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
they know too how busy it is, but
Mhm.
we try to accommodate as many schools as we can, because we know that is usually a favored day for a lot of the students,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
for the teachers as well.
Sure. So those dates are filling up then. Man,
Yes,
that's
yeah.
when do educators start calling on those things?
We will have some that are calling the fall
Mhm.
before,
Yeah.
they just really, they know, and especially ones who have been doing it for years, they just go ahead and look at that calendar and
Just put
get
it on there.
themselves on it. And we have some schools too that, they may also go to the Children's Museum, which is our next door neighbor,
Mm.
and
Make a day of it.
yeah, they make a day of it. And so
Mhm.
they may go with them. And so we have some schools that maybe are arriving in the afternoon, and then,
Mhm.
we have a lot of them that come in the morning. So
Mhm.
with it being split like that, we're able to accommodate more because we don't have everybody coming in at one time.
Sure. Very good. Before we go to break, I do want to put
Mhm.
out there, you mentioned the free days in the summertime,
Yes.
but this year you're introducing a free day in the spring.
Yeah, well, we've done it for the last couple of years,
Oh, okay.
actually.
Forgive me for that then.
No, that's okay. We have free Mondays in April. So there are Mondays in April. We do not have any free admission days in May, just because we are so overwhelmed with the school groups. It's really hard for us to also accommodate a free day as well.
Mhm.
And then starting in June, they're on Thursdays, and that will run through the rest of the season.
Okay, very good.
So Mondays in April are free admission.
All right, so put that on the radar if that's something folks are interested in.
Mhm.
Heather, how do folks learn about opening weekend? We'll talk events and such at the zoo on the other side of the break, but how
Okay.
do they learn about those?
They can go to our website or our Facebook page, and they're always welcome to call us at 217-421-7435.
Very good. Again, Heather Purdeu, Executive Director of the Scovill Zoo in Decatur, is my guest in studio this morning. More to come with Heather on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Laurie, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Laurie, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
March in Forsyth keeps you on your toes. A little smell, a little sunshine, a reminder that change is coming. Maybe this is your season for change too. At Hickory Point Garden Homes, you can enjoy the comfort of your own one-story duplex without the worries of maintenance, repairs, or seasonal chores. Just a quiet community, friendly neighbors, and a place that truly feels like home. Visit Hickory Point Garden Homes and discover worry-free, comfortable living for 55 and better.
Here's Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson on how he works to save you money every day.
I watch the Decatur market very carefully. I stay under these, supposed low price chains. I make sure I'm under them. So anybody that's rushing to Decatur or other towns to buy commodity items like flour and sugar and milk and eggs and things that matter are fooling themselves. We are cheaper or as cheap on all the items that matter, and I make sure of that.
And as Dave always says,
hope to see you soon.
Looking for a provider who puts your health first? SIU Family Medicine is accepting new patients. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your first appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest in studio today is Heather Purdeu, Executive Director of the Scovill Zoo in Decatur. Heather, I should have mentioned this in the first segment when we were talking about opening weekend, but you've got your annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday. Tell us about this.
Yeah, we have a very busy opening weekend just because Easter is falling on our opening weekend. But on Saturday, we always annually do a free egg hunt in the afternoon, and anybody is welcome to do that. It's out in front of our zoo. And we start at 1:20. The first egg hunt is for those with special needs, any age. And then at 1:40, 1:55, and 2:10, we'll do 3 other egg hunts. And we usually have, different age groups, depending on, where you're going to hunt the eggs. And so we'll have like toddlers in one section, and then maybe the younger kids in another. And then the more experienced older kids are in a larger section. And again, it's free. Anyone's welcome to come do that. They can bring, their baskets. We usually have some bags available. If you do forget your basket, that's fine. And then everybody goes home with a small bag of some, Easter treats and little toys and stuff. And then all day we'll have $4 admission going into the zoo.
All right,
so
there
yeah,
you go. So be a part of that.
Yeah,
nice. So the annual Easter egg hunt on Saturday at the Scovill Zoo. Very good. And Heather, as we continue to chat here for this morning, let's talk about mobile zoo season. I know like that is kind of ongoing for the zoo, but maybe for groups that are late to getting in for the school bus season, maybe the mobile zoo would be an option for them.
Yeah, it's really hard because we're unable to do a lot of mobile zoos in May.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
During the early times, just because we're so busy at the zoo, a lot of our staff and volunteers are helping us with the tour groups. It is, I think, National Retirement Home Month, and so we do get some afternoon mobile zoos that they're welcome to book with that. But we have right now a lot of libraries that are booking us for their summer reading programs. So again, call the zoo if you need to do that. We fill up. We are only able usually to do so many mobile zoos in a week, and so if that is something that's on your schedule, I would encourage you to call as soon as you can just to get that squared away.
You mentioned the summer reading club season. That's going to be the topic with my library folks next week. But how about the summer camp season at the zoo? How about that?
Yeah, that starts the beginning of June. There's 7 weeks of camps, and those can run from ages. I think we have a weekly Friday camp for those 5 to 6 years old, and then we have the week-long camp starting at ages, I think, 7 and going through the age of 13. I will say that our zoo crew, which is ages 11 to 13, I think all those weeks are already full.
Wow,
they fill up so quickly. So if you do have somebody that you need to register for those zoo camps, especially the 7 to 8 or the 9 to 10-year-olds, you can do that online at scovillzoo.com, or again, you're welcome to give us a call at the zoo, and we'd be happy happy to try to get your child or grandchild registered for those camps.
All right, very good. So keep that in mind. The camp season right around
Yes,
the corner.
it is.
Starting to think about those things for sure. Heather, I've got about 2 minutes with you. You want to talk about some events on the calendar at the zoo?
Yeah. We always have some ongoing camp. We have Earth Day coming up, so we'll be doing some fun things over the weekends. Always check our Facebook page and our website. We try to update those with any new events. As far as new events, for Mother's Day and for Father's Day, we are trying something new this year. And on Mother's Day, we're doing muffins with moms on that Saturday before Mother's Day, and it's 8:30. Moms are free. So anyone else in the family, I think it's a $10. We'll have muffins, of course, and maybe juice and stuff. And then they just get into the zoo early at 8:30, and we'll probably do some presentation highlighting some zoo moms in our animal collection. And then the same thing is Donuts with Dads in June. So yeah, something a little, and for those events, we are asking for reservations. So we'll open those up closer to those events. But yeah, it's something we wanted to try that was new for us this year.
We'll keep those on the radar as we get into the zoo season. And one more time, Heather, let's just highlight opening weekend, the times of the zoo being opened and all those things that come with it.
Yeah, we open up at 9:30 every day starting tomorrow. And then we'll be open until 4:00 with the zoo grounds closing 1 hour later throughout the weeks, and then until 5:00 on the weekends. And I forgot to mention, and of course, the Easter Bunny will be there on Saturday.
Of course.
Rain or shine, the Easter Bunny will be there. So if you want your kids taking pictures with the Easter Bunny, you'll have that opportunity there.
Very good. And I feel bad. We neglected Loki almost this whole time.
I know, Loki. He's been so good.
I was going to say, he just chilling out there, not doing hardly anything.
And his hair's flying, so you will know that he was here.
The place gets clean today anyway, so it's all good. Heather, how do folks follow along all things Scovill Zoo?
They can follow us on our website. We have Instagram page and our Facebook page.
Very good. Heather, we'll see you as the season goes along. Thanks for coming out.
Thank
Heather
you.
Purdeu, Executive Director of the Scovill Zoo in Decatur, our guest in studio. Network News comes your way now.
WHOW.
With SRN News.